Hello, good morning. Welcome, everybody. Happy Monday. Welcome back to Adobe Live. My name is Alexis Bustos, and I'm here with the awesome Osama Ghazal.
Thank you. Hi, Alexis.
How are you doing?
Pretty well. I'm pumped. I'm excited. Been waiting for this. So finally, here we are.
Osama's joining us from Toronto.
Yep.
Toronto. I hope I'm saying Toronto properly for all you Torontoans. Hello, chat. Hello, Tim and Beck and Marissa and Stefan. Welcome and thanks for joining us today. Let's go through the schedule really quick of what happened today and therefore what will be happening tomorrow. We had an awesome Adobe Live session with Pratik doing some photo retouching. As well, we have a lot of creative challenges this week, both with Photoshop and XD. I hope you all listened to Peter's and tuned in. We have some cool creative challenges we're gonna go over at the end of the stream. And same thing tomorrow. So let's kick it off. And there's also one more thing happening. We have a cool chat and win today.
Absolutely.
It's actually we're giving away Moo money. You guys.
$30 gift card.
$30 and come on, they're gonna be awesome. We need business cards? I need business cards. We always need business cards, and Moo is the way I get them.
Absolutely,
Such high quality. So, chat and win, guys, later. It's Moo today. So without further ado, I wanna get into this awesome bill splitting app with Osama and some really cool design features with XD. Let's do it.
Absolutely. Hi, everyone. So my name is Osama Ghazal. Some of you may recognize me from the chat. Been super active pretty much on everything XD for a long time here in the chat, Discord, Slack channel. And I'm a UI UX designer and currently teaching UX at Red Academy in Toronto, Ontario. And I'm also a big fan of hats, like in case you haven't noticed.
Nice.
And on the side, I also like to edit a lot of photos and videos on my free time.
Yeah.
So I'm posted on Instagram, so it's a lot of fun. And so on today's agenda, we're actually gonna be quickly defining design systems and style guides. Then we're gonna jump into designing our app, the bill splitting app that we are preparing for today, and hopefully finalizing the wireframes before the stream ends.
Cool.
Right.
Bill splitting.
Yep.
Then we're gonna get lunch after and use the app.
Oh yeah, that would be
great.
fun.
Won't have to count ever again.
Absolutely. All right. So, have you used any bill splitting apps before?
I have. I mean, sort of. I use Venmo. There's a couple others, but Venmo's kind of the one.
Yeah.
It's honestly, it kind of comes down to just throw money at people. And I have no idea if I'm actually giving the right amount. It's like, here, just take my money.
Believe it or not, I've never used Venmo before. Can you actually split money?
Not really.
Just transfer money.
It's not a bill splitting app. Chat, what are your bill splitting apps that you guys use? And if you use any, please let us know.
Venmo, Splitwise. I can see one already.
Splitwise is the big one.
Yep.
Yeah, Francisco. Thanks, Paco.
Thanks, Paco.
Yeah. Do you use Splitwise a lot?
I've been using the app lately for almost a month now, and that was kind of the inspiration behind why I decided to work on this app for today. There are a few things that I believe can be done in a more cohesive way. So yeah, let's give it a shot and see what will happen. Yeah, so before we get into that, I just wanted to, again, define what a design system is, because this is pretty much going to be the foundation for what we're working on today.
Right.
So a design system, as you guys may know, is a library of reusable components that you can utilize across multiple mediums. And instead of just having to start from scratch every time you design a new thing, you can just get a component or a visual component from that library, throw it in your design, and you're done.
Right.
And there are a bunch of things and values that come with building design systems, but the things that really stood out to me are scale design consistently. So again, if you're working across multiple mediums, designing for mobile devices, computers, and desktops, you can have an easy and quick access to these components rather than just having to search for them every time you design.
Right.
And the other thing is manage and prototype faster. So once you design and finalize your designs faster, you can get into realness faster and prototype with people and get real evaluation for your products. And the last one and most important one to me is to build in accessibility. So once you put yourself in the headspace of building design systems. You're kind of forcing yourself to think about all users, not just a specific group of users. And hopefully our design will be accessible for everyone today.
I love it. I love it. Giving us the down low on the design systems.
Yep, so from that I actually prepared some examples to show you guys. We're gonna dive into the ones provided by XD UI Kit, but before that there is actually one of the design systems that really stood out to me by MailChimp. Very cohesive, very informative. They have almost everything you need to know if you want to get samples from their design systems or design library. And the good thing I really liked about their library is the snippet of code they have with each component, so that they make it even easier for the developers to integrate their visual components and just speed up the development process a little bit. So yeah, it's a great resource for you guys if you want to check it out. It's ux.mailchimp.com. And the other one, of course, is one of my favorite, the UI kits provided by Adobe XD. We have a bunch of them. We have the Material Design System Kit, and we also have the UI Elements Kit by iOS provided by XD. Really cool, bunch of options. Pretty much everything you might be looking for you can find here in this kit. And the way to reach out to these kits by going to File, Get UI Kits, and you can find these options listed in here. And if you think that this is at some point generic or something, or is not enough for you, you can always go to more UI kits, and that will take you to the browser and, can start working on it.
Absolutely. We've had some really awesome guests before actually build these UI kits.
Yeah.
So, if anyone just takes a, anyone wants to take a,
okay.
We just a little glitch in the matrix.
Yeah, my computer's shivering. All right.
It's about to get crazy. That was a good sign. That was the universe's way of being like,
yeah,
let's talk about things in the chat. Let's say hi again to the chat real quick.
Absolutely.
And kind of.
Hi, Tim. How's it going, man?
Anyone else streaming from Canada?
Oh.
Do we have any friends of yours coming in from the chat that you've talked to? All right. Hello, D. You know what's great?
What?
Is that you actually came from the chat. You've actually
come
from this world.
Yeah,
so Osama's just has been where you've been, you guys. Like
That's so surreal. Actually, I was telling Alexis before the stream. It was so funny because I personally learned about the chats by mere coincidence, by the whole live stream by mere coincidence.
Really?
Like literally, I was telling Senna actually when I first met her that my finger slipped. I was going to recommended or for you tab, and literally that what exactly happened. Just my finger slipped and I pressed on the for you tab and the live tab
and Behance.
Yeah, on Behance. And that's how I learned about it. Not even from YouTube, because a lot of people are coming from YouTube, then they discover Behance, but it was
it's like, do you believe in fate? Your finger slipped. That means there was some issue with the UI that.
So what?
It's so meta.
Yeah,
we're back. We're getting meta.
Just meant to happen.
Meant to happen.
Yeah, so
I love that.
That's how I discovered the live chat, and ever since I just got hooked in it. I got super engaged in it. I was almost on everything: XD, Slack, Discord. I even contributed and participated in the daily challenge a little bit.
Nice.
Yep.
That's what I'm talking about. It's all just one big system, and we're all part of it, you guys. Cornelian says the force is strong with this one.
The force is strong. That's one.
This is the live stream you are looking for. Yeah. Correct.
He's one of us. Marisa says, yes, I am. He's one of us.
That's so fun. Yeah. Well, awesome. And Osama also teaches. You are also an instructor of sorts. So he's the guy to talk to in the live chats if you need any help.
Oh, yeah. Well, teaching, how can I put that together? So I've been designing mobile applications for a number of years now, and I just moved to Toronto this year. I was living in Vancouver, then I moved to Toronto this year, and I got a call from the school where I'm teaching now, and in the beginning they just wanted someone to assist, and now I became in charge with my other co-instructor of the classroom, which was great. Yeah, and it's very, because it's a very enriching experience, I would say, because you're teaching, but you're also learning. Like when we first got into design, we were talking about that right before the stream. Alexis and I almost got in UX design around the same year, 2012. I personally didn't know that UX is a role or exists. I didn't even know at this point. I just knew design. I was learning from other people. And now seeing those people or the students are trying to learn UX in a complete different way and approach than how I learned a couple of years ago is definitely adding to your experience.
Yes, absolutely. And it's amazing how much you learn from just like watching people stream as well,
Yep,
you know? And then being able to kind of share that now, I'm sure that's very full circle for you in so many ways.
It feels so surreal now because I used to be out there behind the screen, or no, like behind my computer. Okay.
So you guys in the chat, just
now,
keep talking, keep doing the challenges.
Yep.
This could be you. Awesome.
One day.
Well, I'm really excited to hear about like the design system you have in place and kind of your process through that.
Absolutely. So, as we briefly mentioned, we define design systems, and one concept that we can definitely inherit from design systems are what we call style tiles or style guides. It's like a minimized or a demo version of a completely fleshed out design systems and fits pretty well for quick occasions, or if you're working on smaller projects, you can create something like that so you don't really have to spend all your time building an entire design system for a small project. So that's basically what I created for today's app. So this is going to be my color palette, the fonts I'm going to be using, and the font size for each segment. Then we also have the actionable components, or things that require a direct interaction from the user's end. Things like icons, buttons, cards, and the last one is more for my reference, the vertical key lines, things that I'm going to be using to section and structure the safe space where I'm going to be placing all my visual components. And yeah, that's what I prepare for today's app. Yep.
You know, you have all of these. It's almost like you have all of your ingredients, and they're like the cream of the crop, right? That you know, exactly what you want it to be, and you can perfect it. You know, some people make their design systems and really spend a long time kind of going through this. How can you kind of bring us through your process of making and choosing these colors? And you know, because you haven't created your app necessarily yet, but you're going through different ideas over
multiple iterations until you come up with something that can be said an app or design. And the funny thing that everything here I quite inherited from the UI kits provided in XD. Like, I didn't reinvent the wheel or anything. I just tried to look up other UI kits and see what can fit and what cannot fit my app. Then I started inherited from those, and that's how I came up with this one.
Got it.
Yep.
Cornelian asks about the color palette. He says it's nice. And are you representing 3 tints of each color?
A little bit, yes, that is true. I'm using primary color palette, and from that I inherited the same grade, or just a different shade from the same color to use as a secondary color palette, so I don't have to recreate the color palette or from the scratch, or use multiple color palettes that may not fit the overall environment I'm creating in my app.
Right.
Yep.
Cartier says, design systems seem a little overwhelming to put together. Can they be overwhelming?
They are.
There you go.
They are. So, but I mean, that's why it's really useful to also know and get yourself familiar with style guides, or style tiles, as some people like to name, because it's a very demo version. It's really quick and snappy to put together, rather than spending extensive amount of time working on a huge design systems that you're not necessarily needing for this specific project. So, but yeah, like as a process, it takes some time for sure.
It takes some time, to kind of recognize patterns and what works together, going from, I like how you segmented primary and secondary kind of colors, and maybe those are colors that he's worked with before, or maybe you've seen,
for sure.
Exactly, you've seen that work. And the same can be said with typography. You don't want to reinvent the wheel. I love that you said that, because it's, you don't have to.
Yeah, like,
so much stuff has been made for you in a way.
Yep, I always say this: in order to build something innovative, you're not necessarily wanting to radically change everything people know. You can just add like a small features here and there that makes it more innovative, but convenient in the same time.
Yeah, awesome.
And we have the Chat and Win countdown.
Chat and Win, it's up for 14 minutes, you guys. I saw in the chat earlier someone said more moo, more money, more moo, more problem, something like that.
Oh, that's hard to say.
It was funny. It was good though. I remembered it. But some awesome moo cards.
Yep.
For business cards. I love them. I think everybody who has a Moo card always, like, their business card game is, like, upped.
That is
usually,
for sure.
Like, really well printed and nice stock, so.
It's like you're trying to stylize everything you're doing in your
Yes.
life other than just designing.
Yes.
So, yeah. So, yep. This is our design canvas. We're going to be designing the app where all the magic happens.
Nice.
Yeah, Bill is splitting app. Chat and Win. Oh, yeah, Tim is saying, oh, yeah, Chat and Win is real.
Oh, yeah. And Danning said, your future self and teammates will thank you for putting this together. Speaking in regards to the actual design system.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
So it is a lot of work, but we're gonna keep referring back to it as you design and kind of see how it kind of came together too.
Absolutely. All right, so before we actually start designing the app, I want you guys to meet Tiffany, our persona for today.
Nice.
Hi, Tiffany. Tiffany is a working millennial in Toronto. She lives in Toronto, and she loves to travel to New York to try different cuisines and places, recreational visits in general, but she comes across the same pain point that sounds very relatable to everyone here in the chat. And you guys let us know if you ever suffer from that before. You hang out, like you have a nice time with people and friends, and once the receipt comes, everyone start resorting back to their phones to calculate what they should and shouldn't pay,
Right.
which is a little bit embarrassing, and in my opinion, not the perfect way to end the night, right? So, ever happened to you guys before?
It really does ruin the vibe of a dinner.
Yeah.
When you're out with friends and it's like,
Such a small thing,
this
but
was great. Let's go to the next place. Who do I owe money to?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. Did I not give you enough? It's awkward.
It is awkward and embarrassing sometimes. So yeah, that's basically why we decided to design this app today. And from this, we have a couple motivations and frustrations that we can use to talk about the features we are going to build for our app. So first of all, the build info. This is going to be the master feature. So here's actually one of the things that I prefer to have in my designs. Like whenever you have a feature that is going to perfectly represent the app, try to make it the master feature. Everything else is an ecosystem around this feature.
Interesting.
So the app is to split bills. So just keep it that way. Everything else is complementary, I would say. Then
Try not to overwhelm with features.
absolutely.
Yeah. Stay focused on what you're trying to express to maybe
Yep.
your company or your team or as the project itself.
So it's
I
like
that tip.
it's like if you have a diagram, like x-axis and y-axis, the
Yeah.
master feature is the anchor point, and everything else is just surrounding.
Got it.
Then
Good tip.
the second feature we're going to be working on is groups. A feature to let you create groups with people you hang out with, or you know that you will be around oftentimes, so it becomes easier to split wisely with each other. And the last one is to split, and we're going to have a little trick in there just to help people split in a better and more seamless way. And let me guys know in the chat, like, what are the problems you face when you split bills?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are some pain points everyone comes across when splitting a bill?
Yeah, split evenly, unevenly.
Oh, I feel like they're always uneven. I feel like you're paying to just have friends at that point.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Just
yeah.
to keep your group of friends close to you. It's like, you know what? I know I just got a salad, but I'm going to give you $5 because I know it's probably a whole thing. And if
Yep.
I don't give you enough, you're not going to be my friend. You know, maybe.
I will
So let's
never
just-
lose friends for money.
Yeah, like service charge of keeping friends. And that's,
Yep.
maybe that's what we should call it. But,
Absolutely. Tim says you can't even full screen the prototype window. Absolutely, Tim, I'll do.
Yes.
Just I forgot about it. Thanks, man.
There you go.
Earn
Yeah.
the bills. Itemized. Also earn the bills.
Someone's talking about separate checks. Just get separate checks.
Which is
Totally. But what if you're with like 7 people or 10 people? It's awful for servers
and
to do separate checks.
I don't know if you're a big fan of traveling, Alexis. Like you travel a lot. So I travel a lot, and believe me, ordering separate checks isn't good in some cultures. Isn't that cool thing?
Yes.
So
Yeah, not only is it annoying, it's like not cool
Yeah.
culturally.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
and
right.
it was like really embarrassing. So that was one of the key factors why I decided to think about this app, because it happened to me a lot because I'm living here in North America. Like between Canada and the US, it's a pretty familiar thing for everyone to order separate checks, but in some countries, it's a little bit
Taboo.
annoying. Yes.
Annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Think of it from the server's perspective. It's a lot of
work.
shuffling, a lot of work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Some people's, Santaj says friendship tax. Exactly. Just think of it that way. But hopefully with this app, we won't have to worry about that friendship tax being too high.
So this one is for you, Tim, full screen. So this is the tree for my app. This is just a rough UX flow, how things are going to happen. So this is the landing page, or the master page as I like to call, where you can split or enter the bill information. Then you can from there go to whether existing groups, choose one of the existing groups to split the bill with, or just go to finalize the process and actually split at taxes, or just shuffle between the friends, or add new friends to your groups if you want. It's pretty simple. It's going to be like 2 or 3 actions most to navigate through the entire app. So just keep it as minimal as possible, but useful and functional for sure.
That's great. That's great. That was a great design map, actually. Can we kind of go back to that?
Yeah,
and
sure.
Kind of,
thank you.
I don't know about you guys, but I think this is very well designed understanding of kind of like how the app's going to work, right? There's no screens here. It's just actions or, so can you talk us through kind of like why this is an important part of your process or to have? Yeah,
the most important thing for me at this point is not getting distracted with any aesthetics or visual components. I just want to focus mainly on the functionality and how things are going to interact with one another. Once you start getting into using artboards and all the magnificent features we have, whether in XD or even other design softwares, so it becomes a little bit distracting. You start considering every single pixel and you want to perfect everything. At this point, I don't want to focus on that. I just want to focus on the content and what's going to be included in the app. So that's basically why I created this. This is actually a website that I'm using for maps. Yeah.
Oh, wow. What's it?
It's called Coggle, like Coggle, COGGL.
Coggle.it?
Yeah, this one.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Nice. Very cool. So
Yeah,
it's like
very
a flow
cool.
chart. So it's a great tool to use if you want to don't want to get too distracted while you're creating and want to do it kind of more high fidelity too. It's really nice looking. You can like post that.
It's actually for a flow. It's really
for
nice
a flow,
looking.
it's pretty organized.
Yeah.
Coggle.it.
Coggle.it. Yes.
Awesome. Munir asks, how do you set a deadline for a project you're working on? As we're in the thick of kind of talking over project flows, that's a great question to ask.
That is definitely difficult to ask because it always comes back to the client or the company you're working for, because you have higher or upper management who set up the deadlines for everything you're working on, and they take really good care of how teams are collaborating with one another. So based on all this, they can set a deadline, and again, you're having a conversation with the upper management and other teams every day. It's not like you're working in silo mode. You have to talk to people and teammates just to set up things correctly, and don't exaggerate or don't be super optimistic, but don't also underestimate what you can accomplish in a certain amount of time. But for example, where I teach at Red Academy, we have a set deadline 3 weeks for each project.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a pretty intense kind of program, but it provides enough learning experience for the students and train them on how to deal with short deadlines for sure.
Yeah. That's the thing, is that understanding your workflow and like what you can accomplish in a certain amount of time is very, very important as a designer who's working in-house or as a freelancer. And that's just you learning.
Yep.
Right? And so setting your own deadlines, is a great way to start.
Absolutely.
And I think shorter is better.
Shorter?
I think
I
think the shorter the deadline, the better. I think the better the work sometimes. Like, you can work forever on something, but if you give yourself a narrow window of time and good time to focus on it.
And focus on this, yes.
You can solve some amazing problems quickly. Yep. So it just depends, I guess. Munir. All right, awesome.
Yeah. All right, so now the first step before I start designing, I'm going to be linking my assets from the style tile that I created. So to link the assets, you go to the plus icon over here, choose the document from the cloud. You have to save your document to the cloud first before linking the assets, and here it goes. I have everything I
Nice.
need to start working on.
So that's from the other document you actually had.
From this one. Basically, that's everything I created in here. All right, so yep, I think we are in good shape to start the app now, right?
Nice.
And please, guys, if you have any ideas in the chat, like if you need any features other than the 3 features I'm focusing on, feel free to suggest that. Keep them coming.
Yeah, definitely. And as Osama starts working on the app, you know, we have the chat and win happening in about 3-4 minutes. So you guys keep staying in the chat, talk to us, let us know what's up, how you're doing, where you're coming from, what your pain points have been for splitting meals, splitting checks, because you know that's the focus of today's app. Cartier says restrictions and short deadlines sometimes equal magic. Yes. Agreed.
Yep.
Fully agreed. And is there a section for the tip? That's a good question as well.
Oh yeah, we will see that. We'll see about that.
Oh.
Who said that? Cartier.
Yeah, I think there's Cartier's. Yeah.
Yeah.
People just asking about the tip. Always remember the tip. Always remember to tip if you're gonna go out to eat.
Yep.
Although some places culturally
They don't
they
accept
don't
that.
do
Yep.
the tip.
Yep.
So how do you work those out? All right. Yeah, that's hard. I don't think I've ever been in a place where I've messed up. You know, like messed up giving a tip and not giving a tip. I always feel like I do a lot of research to make sure I don't.
I honestly, I fell for it a couple times before.
Oh man, where has that happened?
Happened to me in Europe.
Europe.
Yeah.
Classic. Yeah. Some
So-
places it's just not a thing to give a tip. You just people are paid.
I
pretty
almost
well.
got kicked out of the restaurant, so I don't.
Because you tipped?
Because I was trying to tip.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
it was like turned out like very like a rude thing in their culture somehow. I'm
Wow.
definitely not gonna name the country or anything. That just happened to me in Europe. So
They're like, no, we will not accept your tip.
yeah.
Okay.
All right. So now I'm actually working on a home screen where the splitting function or the bill info creation is gonna live.
Cool. I like this kind of like side tab
Yep.
vibe you're having. Stone says, that's your favorite place, tip well.
Favorite place tip. Well,
Yeah,
yep.
always tip well. Stefan says, make the app adopt based on region settings, or just make the tip optional.
Tip option. Yeah.
Yeah, I like the regional setting.
I like that. I feel like a lot of people are on the same page with what I created and prepared already. So
Yeah.
that's a great one. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a cool idea. Maybe, maybe practice it. Maybe make your own.
Yep.
Make your own kind of app based on that. That's a great idea to kind of just elaborate on. For travelers, maybe it's integrated with an already existing travel app. It's a cool feature idea. Nice. All right, we're almost to chat and win, you guys. We're about almost 40 seconds out. What should we chat about today? Let's chat about plus best restaurant maybe you've eaten at, or the
Highest tip.
oh. I would just chat about if anyone's ever been a waiter or a server, you know, best tip story. Best story
Yeah,
about a
please.
tip that you got or you didn't get, or maybe one that you gave. We're talking about tipping your waiter here, so let's chat about that for a bit. We're at 10 seconds, and keep chatting, you guys, because we're gonna be winning $30 gift cards to moo.com, and that's pretty awesome. So we'll see you in a bit.
Hey.
Hi, welcome
Chat and
back
Win
to
time.
Chat and Win. We are here. We are talking about tips and tip culture, and are you tipping properly? And have you ever not gotten a tip if you worked at a restaurant? We're talking about that. Let's see. We're talking about Moo. Moo cards.
Moo cards
Do you
are the
have-
best.
Have you ever used Moo for?
Yeah, that's a funny story and kind of painful because I got my Moo cards last year and I got my entire bag stolen in Vancouver.
Oh no!
So yeah,
Because you didn't tip.
yeah, it's kind of painful.
Everyone looks like we have some people who used to work as servers. Moo. Awesome. Yeah,
It's
I've
really
gotten
fun.
some pretty cool cards other places, and I thought they were cool. And Stefan won.
Stefan,
Woo! All right. Well, $30 gift card to Moo.
Congrats.
Congratulations, everyone else. You have still won with the code Adobe Live or with the URL with Adobe Live, 15% off your next Moo order. 15%. So everybody, go get your business cards and let's all get jobs.
that would be nice. Yeah.
Yeah. Some great quality cards though. I thought mine were good, and then I saw a Moo card, and I was like, wow, I should have gone with Moo.
Actually, one of the cards I saw before and really drew my attention was like a ring. Well, yeah, so you actually upload all your information as like a smart ring. You upload all your information on it, and once you hover over like a device or something, everything just gets into the device. Yeah, I've seen it on YouTube, and they're so active on Instagram.
Whoa, so
I
this
ju-
is like the new business card.
Yeah, it's like, yeah. If you want to be like a showstopper kind of person in an event or something, yeah.
Wow, the gift card, business card's not good enough, folks. I've seen some pretty cool ones. Actually, a guest on Adobe Live gave me a great business card with his pin attached. I think you guys know who it is. But it was so cool, and I got one that was like just a R2D2 like image on the card, and that was like it.
Oh, that's nice.
So it was like a cool piece of art too
Yeah.
that I like kept on my desk, and I was like, oh yeah, what designer is that? Flipped it over.
It's pretty cool.
Statement piece. Cool.
Right,
So we got a
so-
calculator-looking vibe on the screen right now. Nice. Munir says, I give tips when I'm in a good mood. Ooh. Rocking the boat.
Rock and boat.
Some say, always give a tip. 20%. That's what it
20%.
should have been. Like, what percent
Yeah.
tip does everybody give?
What percentage? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah.
So back in high school, that was like one of the most awkward situations.
Splitting a tip.
Yeah.
Splitting the bill.
Splitting the bell for sure.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard when you're a student trying to split bills, and that's when
Yeah.
you do it the most. You
Yep.
know, you're just
Absolutely.
trying to share food and just get fed.
Yep.
I think we've all encountered that. It would be cool if there was like a splitting the bill, like loan system for students. You know what I mean? Like,
Whoa, that would be a smart one.
you know, yeah.
That should have been my app today.
Yeah, it's funny because when you need to split it, it's when you maybe are the most
Yeah.
hard pressed. I find myself now that I can pay for things now that I'm not in school. I just like don't even care as much. I don't even notice how much I get back
Oh.
from people. And I'm like, yeah, just throw me like $10, $15.
Or yeah, buy me pizza sometime.
Exactly.
Yeah, like,
Exactly. I think that would be a fun concept. Of
Yep.
like instead of splitting the bill, it's like I got your next meal.
I got your
next meal on me.
oh, so you owe me a meal.
Owe me a
instead-
meal,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, that would be a nice one.
That would be a fun one. We're coming up with great app ideas, you guys. Nice.
See, that's actually one of the things that I really like about the chat. Like people start throwing ideas, and some of them are really valid ideas. Like you can literally build an entire app off of it. So
Yeah. Well, there's some great minds in the chat. Like
Absolutely.
Some great, and you know, I'm sure a lot of people that are watching also aren't. Some people aren't chatting, and I know you have this like really good idea that you want to share with us right now, and you're not doing it. And I know, I just know it's really good.
Mhm.
You know. It's all about the group mind, group think.
Yep. Speaking team environments,
Speaking of team environments,
Yeah.
yes,
how do you feel about it?
a team environment.
Yeah.
My formal education with UX was all about working with people.
Okay.
You know, yeah. So I think I excelled, or I think our teams excelled when we learned how to work well with each other. It's a hard skill to learn.
Absolutely. Tell me about it.
Yeah.
That's actually one integral part of the entire learning experience we have at Red Academy. Like we try to also make them practice teamwork. It's not just about designing a bunch of screens and getting feedback. It's more than that a little bit. Because when you graduate and go out there, hunt for jobs, people will start evaluate your skills based on how good you are working with a team. So
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's what we're doing, here, even with the chat. You guys are essentially a team, and if you're doing the creative challenge with us every day, head over to Discord and talk with these are your teammates, essentially.
Yep.
You're looking over each other's work, you're critiquing each other, you're giving us ideas in the chat.
Tons of them,
Give each other ideas. Everyone's talking about tips now, and I love that. I kind of love that the chat is on fire of talking about how much to tip people.
Build this place.
It's great.
Like at 15, 20. Yeah, we'll see about that, Marissa.
Oh, I love this idea. Everyone puts $5 into an account every 2 weeks, and everyone eats together once a month. I love that idea. It's kind of like a new age potluck system.
Yeah.
That's a great idea. Adobe Community is magic. Yeah. I think it's all about how you can access other designers and learn how to work with them. Everyone's different, because everyone has a different style of working,
sure.
and it's...
And there is a point where everyone will start being like super subjective about what they like most, but which is fine, absolutely. I just have to compromise that with teamwork again. There's a lot of people who say designers aren't artists, like UX designers aren't artists. What do you think about that? Because in design, you design for people.
That's a great question.
Yeah.
Chat, weigh in on this. Do you consider UX designers artists? I've had a lot of thoughts about this. I'd love to hear what the chat has to say, though. I would say we're a form of artists. I think everybody, though, is an artist.
Yeah.
To be fair, I'm one of those people who's like, everyone's an artist. Yeah, I think there's a great deal of artistry that goes into designing, period.
Mm-hmm.
And there's been some really amazing UX work coming out of the world, and Behance specifically.
Yep.
That is art. That is truly art. Maybe some of them not as plausible.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Well, not every single idea will come to fruition. Sometimes it's just really nice to put it out there and let other people learn from it.
Simona says, UX no, UI yes.
Even
Interesting.
UI. Okay.
Tim says he's 40% artist, 50% engineer, and 10% magician.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Juicy.
But what's your percentage of musician?
Musician. Okay.
I don't know. I think everyone's also a musician. UX is very multidisciplinary. Exactly. So UX is everybody's coming into it with different strengths, and maybe they're already artists or designers in another space, in a different type of work even, and so everyone's bringing different things to UX. So I would say yes. UX designers can be labeled as artists in a way.
I would definitely agree with you. That's my own personal opinion, because at the end of the day, yes, you're not reinventing the wheel, but you're trying to add let's call it a flavor to work. Like you're trying to go a little bit innovative, right?
Yeah.
Add value to the community, basically. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah, it's a good question. It's a great question about if UX is art, consider art, UX designers. Yeah, I think everyone has a lot to bring into the field.
Yep.
I don't think it's you're just a designer when you're a UX designer. You're a lot of different things. I think everybody can agree to that.
Yeah, and who said UI yes, UX is no?
Yeah, that's out.
Someone said that. Yeah, I would slightly agree and disagree with that, because UI, and big part of it is like depends mostly on contingent thinking. So you have to build this kind of analytical mindset to evaluate things in a logical way, how things will work together. It's like a puzzle. So not completely art as well, I would say. I mean, it definitely, in my opinion, has like a strong artistic part of it, but not entirely.
Got it. Yeah. Stone says tipping is an art. And I would agree with you 100% on that. Yeah. That's Santaj says design is generally always closely intertwined with art, although obviously designing for a purpose is much different to making a piece of art.
Yep.
Yes,
That
absolutely.
sounds, yeah.
When you're creating art, you're creating art.
Yep. You don't have to
You're
explain
not doing it. You
Yeah.
don't have to explain it. No. But there's so much artistry in design that so much of it overlaps into it, and some of those values and how you consider yourself and how you work and how what your flow is can overlap. But when you're creating for somebody, when you're designing for a human,
Yep. That's the point. You have to consider other mindsets.
are you an artist at that point?
Yeah.
You're doing something good. so no worries. Everyone's doing the good work.
Right now, I've almost finished the first screen, the home screen, where you actually start entering the build information. Then now I'm jumping into the second one where, like in the normal flow, you will go from that, trying to select certain group of friends to split with. That's what I'm trying to do here.
Got it. So you have the different multi-select of bill, tax, tip.
Mm-hmm.
Great. So we're kind of getting a rough idea over like this first initial screen is going to be where you input.
Yep.
It's great, and it's not too far away from like what we know
Yeah.
a calculator image or a number inputting field to be.
Yeah,
It's
one
not
of the-
reinventing
The wheel.
the calculator.
Yeah, but again, like, that's actually, thank you for saying this word, calculator, because some people, when I started working on that, because a few weeks ago, I started posting shots on Dribble, Behance, Twitter, everywhere, and some people were like, why we can't just add or subtract amounts, because I am not creating a calculator. I am creating a split functionality. So it's going to be different, but once the entire flow is completed, we can get a better sense of how it works.
Yeah. And if anyone's just joining the chat, we're here with Osama Ghazal, and he is creating a bill splitting app. And so we've talked a lot in the chat around like tip. We've talked a lot about tips,
Yeah.
which I love. And also specifically the actual design system that he's using. And he's imported assets over into this this window of XD from a separate window where he's created the system altogether.
Yep.
So he's kind of a pro.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yes. Oh, thank you, Tim. Yes, Munir. My name is Alexis. It's nice to meet you, if we haven't met before. What is, Stefan, I like what you're saying around, though art is created to communicate an idea, so is UX. So there's also this idea around communicating your idea.
Yeah, but in UX, I'll piggyback a little bit off that and say that in UX, you're trying to go further and solve a problem, not just communicate the idea, because you're communicating the idea for sure. That's an integral part of it, but you're also trying to address a certain problem statement and provide a comprehensive solution for that problem statement.
Yes.
So, but definitely true.
Marissa, I'll just give you a little background on me. I think people are asking who I am. My name is Alexis. I'm a host at Adobe, here at Adobe Live. I'm actually a UX designer at a design firm, not at Adobe. But yeah, and it's cool. No, not all the hosts work for Adobe.
So, how long have you been doing design, Alexis?
I've been doing design for a while. I started as a graphic designer, much like I'm sure a lot of people in the chat. Started as graphic design back in 2008. Worked as a photographer for a bit.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What kind of photography?
Commercial.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but I think my art behind photography was definitely around portraits, and loved doing that, but didn't want it to be my lifeblood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So I do it for fun now. So then from there I went to visual design. I feel like, here's the thing, when I tell my story, a lot of people are like, me too.
Yeah.
You know, like, I was a photographer too, or I was a graphic designer too. And then eventually went back to school for interactive design and became a UX designer.
But isn't that funny? Like almost all designers, they have like a side gig or like something on the side that they prefer to practice other than designing.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, like so.
Absolutely. Yours is like photo manipulation.
Photo
Yours is
manipulation and video editing. Yeah.
video editing. Yeah. 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 Everyone has different fun things they do on the side to kind of keep. I was talking to another guest about it. It's a way to keep your mind
Fresh.
creative
Yep.
as well.
Yep.
You know, it's important to kind of come off the screen a little bit and work with the world around you and work in a creative endeavor around you in the world.
Yep.
And photography is a great one, viewing through a lens.
It's like the best way to flex this creative muscle a little bit and get out of like your daily routine and try to come up with something new.
Yeah. Yeah, because if you think about it, as UX designers, a lot of our products are being used, you know, yes, they're on screens, but like this tip app, this bill splitting app,
Yep.
tip app. The people are going to be using it at restaurant, at loud, crazy restaurants, or maybe waiting on the side of the road, waiting for their lift. Like, it's important to immerse yourself into the real spaces that your app's going to be used in. You know, so when you're testing it, so say, you know, down the line with this app, would be a great way to test the flow and function of your app in the space.
And yeah, you have to diversify the audience that you're testing with too. Just collect as much information as possible.
Yeah. Oh, people are talking about all their different things. So Cornelian says organic gardening is a good pastime. Is maybe their creative pastime.
Yeah.
Amazing. Gardening is absolutely a great way to kind of like
Unwind.
and get creative. Making things grow, making
Yeah.
sure they grow properly. And having the organic. There's so many challenges there that you have to overcome. Culinary arts is another one. So like cooking.
It's like, yeah.
Cooking.
That's
One of the most creative things you could possibly do.
Yeah, every week I try to cook something new and I end up burning the kitchen, so
Oh,
I kind of gave up on that.
Hence the bill splitting out.
Yeah.
A lot of
thank you.
eating out. Yeah. Toronto's supposed to be a great cultural hub for food.
Toronto, yes, it is.
I hear it's
Yeah.
amazing.
And a patio.
Do you
However,
eat out a lot in Toronto?
almost every meal, like I only cook like 2 things, so I end up eating out a lot for sure.
Nice. What are the 2 things you can cook?
Steak.
Nice.
I can cook steak and pasta.
Nice. As long as you can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Santaj says, but working with your hands is the best way to refresh your brain.
True.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. It's ironic too, because like we're typing on our computer and like,
Yep.
but like if you're to think about it, we're just like moving like tiny bits of
You need
ourselves.
to get into that physical interaction with the objects you're working with. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's absolutely refreshing. So.
Yeah. If only there was a way to kind of like prototype and build UX.
Yeah.
And like with like your, you know, in
Until
maybe in
you
like
get-
VR, maybe throw something on,
Oh,
like
wow.
throw some
Yeah.
buttons on a screen. I'm sure that's already a thing. You know what I mean?
So actually one of the things that, like speaking of refreshing,
Mm-hmm.
repeat grid, oh my god, like thank you XD for having this repeat grid
Oh, I
feature.
know. It's
like
amazing.
definitely my favorite, you know, I can play with it all day.
Yeah. Oh, and so you're creating just like
Contact list.
different contact lists.
Yeah.
Yeah. Repeat grid.
Lexus.
Man, I'm gonna get that tattooed. It's so it's so good. Oh, nice. My name.
Yep. And phone number.
It's definitely.
Absolutely not the phone number.
It's not my real phone number.
Yeah. Let's do this again.
Oh yeah, we're talking about it. Marissa says, I'm a UX designer for GM, so I don't get to use a lot of creativity since we have a style guide. So listening to Adobe's Live is my creative outlet. Oh, nice. Well, we're going to get real creative for you.
Yeah.
We're building it, bill splitting
We
out.
are doing it.
Awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, well, that's a great topic around having a preset style guide. And feeling like, do you get to have any creative outlet with it? Or is it, you know, because that would make a big difference for somebody kind of
Yep.
going into their work. You know, maybe they're like, I want to do something more creative than follow a template. But are you really losing creativity when you have a style guide?
I would say it depends on how you created it in the first place. Are you just using a style guide?
Well, if it's in this case GM, what if it's like a very established style guide?
A very established style guide, I think I can work with it for sure, but I wouldn't be as comfortable as working with a style guide that I created from scratch.
Got it. Got it.
Yeah. Or at least being involved in a creation process of a style guide.
Right.
Yeah.
So there you go. Osama is one to be fully. He needs full creative buy-in. Nice. Hey, Colby. Colby was a guest not too long ago.
Colby.
Maybe like Colby.
Oh, Colby.
Lights.
Yeah, I remember him. He
Yeah.
actually, we spoke once on Behance when he was participating in a creative jam, but I don't remember what city. So, but I definitely
He's out
recognize.
of Florida.
Florida, yeah. Hopefully, I'm talking about the right
remind
Colby.
Me what city you're out of.
Yeah.
Colby, we need your app. It's there's over here in California. He did an app around hurricanes. We need an app like
Oh,
that in
wow.
California. There's a lot of fires happening here right now. So
In California, yeah.
there's a lot of first responder type things happening in this area. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, there's fires here.
Yeah, I lived in Los Angeles for almost a year, so I'm
Oh,
pretty
so
familiar
you're
with
used
it.
to
Yeah,
fires.
yeah.
Yep. It's that time of
So,
year.
seems scary. Oh man.
Yeah. So the select friends feature is super important for an app where you're sharing a tip or
Yep.
sharing the bill.
Sharing the bill.
Sharing the bill. It's because otherwise, who would you be sharing with?
No.
Colby says Orlando.
Orlando, yes.
Stone says I hear a bit of Jersey in your inflections. Thank you. I love that. And no, I'm not. I have no ties to Jersey. I would love that though. I love that it's a thing. I'm born and raised Californian.
So what part of California?
The Silicon Valley.
Wow.
Yes, San Jose,
Yeah.
born and raised, came up amongst the tech boom.
Techno, yeah. That's too much.
Oh, these are like little indicators.
Yeah.
Yes.
Uh,
Oh, awesome. Very cool. Yeah, design style guides are a very interesting thing. You know, we talk a lot about them being, you know, how to build them, but what do you do when you have one already in place and you have to use that one?
I'm not gonna lie, so I'm gonna use them, but I will definitely try to add something here and there. So I'm gonna stick to the standards. If I'm working on like a big project or something, I would definitely have to stick to the standards like all the way through. But I can't help it. I will try to add something here and there.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just like
Yes.
because otherwise,
It's hard. It's hard to stick to that.
yeah.
But also incredibly important of a skill to have. Who was saying it was? I think it was Chris. Chris, one of our guests, talked about how having something already established for you doesn't take away from your creativity. It actually allows you to like play more because things look the same. So those little minor, right?
Yeah, I mean, I can see that, but am I completely on that opinion as well? I don't think so because
No,
I
yeah,
really.
I don't think you are.
I mean, yeah. I think I like to be involved in the process. I mean, as much as possible. It's not like I'm forcing myself again to be practical and more of a realist. Whenever I get a new gig or working with a new client, and if they have something established, I have to work with it. I can definitely add to that thing here and there. But what I personally prefer, no, to be involved in the process. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And they happen over time. Like you have to be willing to change up your template every now and then.
Yep. Because everything is just.
Because everything is just temporary with,
Yeah.
with a lot of design, even standards,
Yep.
you know?
Standards.
A new piece of technology can come out next year that becomes the most popular, most widely used piece, and they may have a completely different standard of design than what you're used to building with. Yeah, that was a funny thing we always learned in school. Like when you're creating, what was it? I had a friend of mine creating a app to. It was supposed to work in, I think, in a different country other than the U.S. And at the time, this country, their number one phone wasn't an iPhone. It was like a, this is even before like Pixel. It was an Android of some Android that was popular at the time. But all of her screens or his screens were on an iPhone. And it's like, so you're showing this use case of somebody using this app, but it's like, I don't think they use iPhones in that region of the world.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying, being playful with your designs enough that you can apply different styles on top of them, right?
Yep. That's for sure. Yeah, that's key now.
It is key. I'm liking your rounded edges. I think they're fun.
That's one of the super trendy things now, like in visual design when it comes to mobile applications, like having these curvy corners across all your visual elements approximately. So
yes it is. And the cards themselves as well are a big trend. Yeah, it definitely lets me feel, it makes me feel a little like more, makes me feel comfortable spending more money, I think. It's, these curvy edges, something about it. It's very friendly. Very,
cute.
Very cute.
Some people call it cute, actually.
It's very cute.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I can promise you guys, like, I'll probably change the entire thing in a couple of weeks from now. Once I feel like incorporating a new trend or just like coming up with a brand new style. Like,
so you go back into your design sometimes and like change them according to style. That's interesting.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
a good, on past projects, you guys, you could go back and tweak them. They're never done. It's not like you post something on Behance or on your website and it's done. No, you can go back and change them whenever. It's a good tip for anyone. I should do that.
So what do you feel when you actually look at something you designed 6-7 years ago? And that's a tricky part.
Chat, how do you feel when you look at your designs from like a year or two ago, or even 6 or 7 years ago?
Yeah.
I don't look at them. 6 or 7 years ago, it's like, oh, you child.
I look at them honestly and I get super nostalgic. I know they're not good at all.
Oh, you get nostalgic. That's great. Oh, yeah.
I get like, wow, I did that like 7 years ago or something.
Yeah. There's some cringeworthy moments on some of my old designs. But I see a lot of heart.
Yep.
I see I see the content. You can see through the styles.
Yeah, a lot
and that's
of
what we're talking about, really.
Yeah.
Style guide, styles change.
Yep.
But if the content is good and the idea and the layout is there,
everything
and
else
the
can
use
be
case
adjusted.
there,
Yeah,
everything
for sure.
else can be adjusted, correct.
Oh, Huxel, how are you, man?
There you go. Yeah, Tim says he always ends up changing or iterating. Usually after one night of sleep. It's a great tip. When you're creating something and you're working, it's good to walk away for a bit.
Yeah, that's actually one of the things I tell my students, because sometimes they just, feel so short on time, so they can't get everything done as they want, and they just end up like, sometimes, you get overwhelmed and you end up doing anything that comes in your mind. I was telling them, hey guys, like if you don't feel like designing, don't design, just go chill, relax, do anything, then come back again with fresh eyes. That would definitely help.
That's so true. So real. And if anyone who's feeling like creatively stalled, stunted, walk away is a good tip. But also look at it from a different perspective, the problem. That always helps. Maybe reframe it for yourself. Or what I like to do is I like looking at other creative things and people. And
like anything, any creative thing,
Go on Behance, scan through it. I always feel invigorated when I find a project or a case study that's like, I never would have thought of that use case. I always feel it's always around the problem. If someone's found like an amazing solution to a problem, I'm like back at work. I'm like, yes, I can go for like 3 more hours.
So what are your thoughts on case studies?
Case studies, they're all very different. Yes, I've seen yours and they're very good.
Mine?
Yeah, your case study. Well, case study. Well, I'm referring to case studies in a way of at Behance you show.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. Thank you, I appreciate that. So.
Yeah, it's very organized. But what do you mean specifically?
Case studies like the ones we can read on Medium, for example. Yeah. So
study in like the
structured,
truest sense.
thought-driven.
More academic sense.
Yeah.
important, very important. In terms of designing with them in mind, or?
Yeah, because this is actually one of the things that we try to encourage our students to do is you work in a team environment. So once you're done, case study for me is important because it gives you that space to come up with new thoughts or showcase your thoughts that you didn't have the chance to accomplish working in a group dynamic. So it lets you focus on the process and come up with new approaches that probably I wouldn't like as a designer or other people would disagree with, and put it out there and just collect more feedback. Probably we're wrong, so.
Very important. Yeah. Well, I guess my opinion around case studies would be then, I guess they're very important. I don't think I refer back as much as I should to some regarding design while I'm designing. But I think about a topic at hand, I will include always, I think, different case studies in my initial research. But then when I'm designing, it's hard to kind of refer back. You know why? Because there's too much information. When you're designing and creating a solution for a problem, you kind of need to remember, just like your flow, the simplicity of what you're trying to come across.
Yep. It's more about like storytelling for me. Case studies, like other than just impressing people with the visual components you came up with, or the brand guidelines that you try to incorporate to flesh out your design. Having this thought process and put it out there and collect feedback in terms of purely having a thought process. That's for me. And storytelling technique, that's for me is very important.
Yes, so. Absolutely. Absolutely. Do you feel like, because you've had a different background, a different come up in the design world, so do you think storytelling has transferred over from your previous work, or is that something that you had to relearn with design?
Yeah, if you guys don't know, like I was actually a banker back in the day. That was like 7 years ago.
Nice.
Coming from an extensive business background, that kind of trained me on focusing on use cases and business cases. So whenever we get a new project, so instead of just focusing on the creative process that would go and support this project, I have to consider what kind of resources this business can afford to carry out this product successfully. So this is one thing, and definitely focusing on the use case. What kind of use cases will be viable for this product? How can we build it in a useful way? So it's more like technical thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Yeah.
And critical for sure.
Yep. Let's see. So you're, can you just walk us through kind of where this new screen, I'm trying, oh, went away.
All right, so now this is where the splitting functionality will take place. So once you enter the bill information, you selected your friends, and you're all done in here, you jump into the splitter, if we can call it that way. Yeah, like that's where you split all the, like everything, total, grand total, tax, and tip, or at least that's what I'm trying to do. So you have total of 4 friends that you selected, and you will have a separate display for each one of them, so you can get a better view of how much everyone will incur, like in terms of the grand total and the tax and tip. Something I will actually give a credit for my students a little bit here, because they definitely helped me shape this screen in a certain way. After we finish it, it will be much clearer for everyone how it works. But they definitely helped me with that, because they were trying to swap with me a little bit, so they were trying to provide more critique for me.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
So you're learning from your students.
Yes, yes. In fact, yes, a lot. So.
That's great. Did you tell your students to tune in today?
Yeah, I definitely did, but I doubt they will have time, because they need to deliver lo-fis. So, yeah.
So you heard that. If you're a student of Osama's, do not forget to finish your homework.
Oh my goodness. It's a client project. They have to be dedicated.
Exactly. So if you're watching, leave. No, I'm just kidding.
No.
Don't leave. Say, oh man, that's so funny. Yeah, I would say like, yeah, your students is a great asset for your students as well. Have they watched Adobe Live in general?
Oh yes, I actually
cool.
made them. I shared the links with them again, like a
Nice.
couple times before.
We're in classrooms. I love it. For anyone who's just joining, we are here today with Osama Ghazal.
Yep.
And we're going through a bill splitting app. And we've talked a lot about not just the bill itself and tipping. We've also talked a lot about the design system that Osama built and he brought in to this new file. And right now we're doing wireframing, and we're talking gray and black boxes.
Yeah.
And nothing makes me happier as a UX designer than to see a lot of gray and black boxes.
Oh man.
I know it's not the most like colorful thing, but we can really see kind of your flow through wireframes.
Yeah, like pretty much focusing on the content itself rather than just getting into or distracting yourself with the aesthetics. That will come later.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. And excuse me, guys, if I'm stuttering while speaking, but I'm trying to focus here and engaging with you guys at the same time, so it's a little tricky.
Chat's doing great. We're doing great here, you guys. If you guys are looking for some more interaction with us, we actually have a daily creative challenge that we pose almost weekly, basically weekly.
Yeah, those are fun ones, believe it or not.
A lot of people in chat have already been a part of it, but there's a tab right above the chat that says challenge. You can click on over and it'll bring you to the Daily Creative Challenge, the XD Daily Creative Challenge. And today's challenge is all about user flows. So it's great, right before our stream, Peter streamed and talked about how to create a user flow in low fidelity. And there's even a starter file here to get you ready. So, oh, hello. So make sure you guys participate, because at the end of our stream, or in 20 minutes towards the end, we're going to look at your designs and we'll check them out. You'll become a part of the community over on Discord, so you just got to join the community and let us know, and we'll talk about them. We'll give critiques.
Yep.
We'll learn about a little bit maybe of you as a designer, and yeah, just come back each day. We have today and tomorrow. Looks like, yep, every day this week, and Halloween is this week. I wonder what the creative challenge this week is going to be for Halloween.
I cannot wait.
Yeah, Halloween, spooky. Do you have a costume? Do you partake
I
in that?
had one in Miami. I lost it, and I had a mask, a pharaoh mask, of course, ancient Egyptian mask, because a mummy.
A mummy.
Yeah, because I'm originally from Egypt. I can't help it.
Oh, nice. Right on. Right on. I did not have a costume this year. Chat, we're talking about costumes. Do you have one? Do you have one yet?
Well, now? You're
Yeah.
asking me or
No,
the
I'm
chat?
talking to
Yeah,
chat.
yeah.
In the chat talking. Oh, I'm glad you made it, Jermaine. Finally here. He was stuck in the chat on YouTube. I'm glad you made it. And make sure to join the Discord. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing these creative challenges today. And you participated in them. Have you done one or several?
I've done 2, I guess, but that was a long time ago. Yeah, like a year and 3 months, I would say.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Is that my fake user handle?
Yeah, that's the fake user handle, guys.
I love it. Yeah. Makes sense. We don't tip on tax.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. The good old days of just giving your friend $5.
And we're all happy.
We're all happy. Or I had a friend who would charge for a slice of pizza.
Okay.
If they got a whole pizza. Yeah.
What?
That's a thing. That was a thing that I've seen happen. So you would get a pizza, you'd like order a pizza like in college. Like, I got a pizza. And my friend would be like, yeah, you could have a slice. Grab a slice. I'd be like, oh, cool, thanks. I'm hungry. Be like, you could just shoot me like $3, $4. I'm like, this is $1 slice. First
My
off.
goodness.
Second off, that classmate is definitely making lots of money wherever they are.
Right. Oh, have you guys seen my layer panel in here? I mean, I'd like to recall what Howard wrote on Twitter. Life's too short to name your layers. Howard Brisket. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not so good at naming layers, but I try my best.
Oh man, you actually name. You try your best to name?
Yeah. Because like if I'm working with a team, like other designers will be looking at my work and what is going on?
Naming your layers. Whew, that is a pro move. Oh, what did you just use a used a plugin?
Yeah, now I'm using a plugin called User Faces, just to insert some hypothetical friend personas in here.
Awesome.
And
I
there is
wonder
this-
if you can do multiple.
Yeah, but, I mean, you can highlight all of them and do it once, but because I grouped these elements together, so that's why. But I mean, I can ungroup these and show them what you're talking about. So you can definitely highlight 2 placeholders. Let's go a little bit crazy with this. User UI faces, then go to pixel on splash, mail, then everything. And
We don't discriminate. Yep.
Yeah. Everything, then here we go.
Perfect.
It places all the images you want in a placeholders, just a click of a button.
So much easier than going and finding and masking.
Yeah,
Trying
absolutely.
to find a photo of somebody. No. Just use the plugin.
Yeah, please. All right, so this is how we display, like in a separate view, what each one of them will pay. Then now actually the tricky part, how we're going to be splitting. How we're going to be splitting evenly and unevenly. So I'm going to do this.
Evenly and unevenly.
Because some people might leave earlier so they don't have to pay as much tip as other people. Yeah.
Or they like maybe had like something way little, like
Yeah.
way less. Didn't have that drink, just
Yep.
had a salad.
Yeah, something like that.
Soup
for
and
sure.
salad
Yeah.
friends. We all know those friends. Stefan
Oh,
says, right? You know, it's just like, I just ordered a soup and salad.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, ugh. God.
Okay.
Okay, here. Stefan says, I wonder if there's any way we could make a smart layer naming system. That's a great idea.
We have actually. It's like renamed the layer. It's a plugin. I just don't remember what
Boom.
exactly.
Stefan, do you hear that? It's a plugin already.
Yeah, rename your layer and rename it.
Rename it.
Yeah,
Okay,
you
this
can.
exists already. Can
Yeah.
you show us maybe?
Yeah, sure. So what you can do is you just get back to layers panel and let's highlight these layers. Then go to plugin, rename it, rename selected layers, and you can,
Boom.
yeah. So this is going to be the master name for all the layers. So let's call it Bell Info. Then you can organize or arrange the layers by numbers, layer width, height, sequence if you want. So just keep it simple for now and make it layer name and start from 1. Then rename and all of them will be,
Oh, wow, look at that.
yeah. So it's not super clear. So what we can do, because they all have the same name, which is bill info. So if we can repeat that again with a different naming convention. So info and number, that will be more convenient, right? That's obvious.
Yeah.
So we have the names.
Descending and
Yeah.
with increasing numbers.
So it's a really helpful plugin we have here in XD. You guys can use it for sure.
Nice. There you
just-
go. Ask and you shall receive. That is a community mind working right there.
Okay.
Stefan's installing it already.
Yeah.
He's installing it now.
All right. What I was doing? Oh yeah, I was working on the slider.
Oh, the slider, nice.
Yeah. So we're gonna actually create the slider in here. Let me get back to. And oh wait, started kicking in now. I started getting hungry.
Yeah, Yeah, it's funny how many people will create apps that are all around food right before on this XD stream, and it's usually around lunchtime.
Yeah.
And it's always like, why did you do an app about food? Now we're all hungry, thank you. Oh, awesome. Oh, I like where you're going with this.
Yeah. Then what we're gonna have now is a more visual cue to indicate the percentage that each row will incur. So it's gonna be like 25%. The default status here will be 25%, like equal distribution across all the friends.
Because there's 4 of them.
Yeah. Then once you identify how much everyone will end up paying, you can move the slider up and down just to differentiate the numbers a little bit, and everything will repopulate, and we're gonna have like a nice slot machine animation to showcase that, but hopefully by tomorrow, because that will be more of hi-fi work.
And fun prototyping.
Yeah.
That's fun. I like this. I like how it, and you know, theoretically, depending on how many people, it will figure out the percentage.
Yep.
That's great. It's a very great visual representation of this idea of splitting a bill.
Yeah. And actually, like, the reason I spend too much time working on this one, even before posting on Behance or Dribble Lake, because again, I'm not trying to replicate a calculator that I already have on my phone. I don't want people to deal with entering number, use addition or subtraction marks to differentiate the number. Just something seamless and unified across all the functionalities will help.
That's good. Stefan says it doesn't work on components. That plugin.
The rename?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we got close.
Yep. Okay, so now we're almost done with this one, and ground tool tip.
What do you think are the most important things when you're creating a wireframe to call out? For you know, is it important to get into really intense detail with your wireframes too, or is it? Yeah, can you talk us through what you showcase in your wireframes?
Yes.
Because I noticed you put a lot of like names, and we have like numbers.
In wireframing, I personally prefer to have like a certain degree of details. Why? Because at the end of it, that's what you're going to use to test with people. Like, you're going to hire testing participants to examine the flow and the functionality of your app and provide feedback. So if you don't have enough detail to describe the functionality, they're gonna get stuck. Like, they're not gonna be able to understand where to go. And you will end up trying to explain and guide them through the process, and you shouldn't be guiding them through the process. So, so that's basically why I try to add some details to my wireframes, because I'm always thinking about what will happen next, which is testing.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's enough to get your user test
Yes.
through the flow.
Yes. So they don't have to wait for you until you finish the UI and test. No, testing earlier as possible.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
All right, and what we're gonna be doing now is just an indication that those selected friends can be combined into one group. So we're gonna create a tooltip for that. And I have, let's group everything in here, and so
Tooltip.
yeah.
Stone says, as a developer, minimizing redundancy in the final descriptions. Is that important in terms of naming a conventions? I'm wondering.
In the final descriptions, like final descriptions, you mean by the copy tag that goes with the screens, or what?
Get back to us. Stone.
Yeah.
Get back to us.
All right, so I have this one screen.
Nice.
So the way I imagine it work is, once you land on the screen, you will have this quick tooltip that you can combine all these selected friends into one group. That's basically it.
Got it. So it's kind of like a pop-up type tooltip.
So basically, for creating groups, we will have a complete different complete different view, but just as an additional access point to creating groups, basically.
Understood. Very cool. Santosh says, UI kits like material design are a good way to get the user testing as soon as possible. Users feel like they're using a real app.
Yep.
Yeah. It's a great way to kind of, see how something's going to work. If it looks like something that they don't have to question it too much,
Yep.
it's great. But also there's something to be said around a very low fidelity prototype and showing that to users. And I think you get very similar results.
With lo-fis?
With lo-fis. I think you get good results with lo-fis. I think they're different questions you're asking though.
Yeah.
Right? Like if this small feature works, this little thing works, if this flow works, if this idea is an idea to go with, you need different prototypes for different stages.
Yeah, honestly, I never tried it before, like testing with
lo-fi?
lo-fis. Never tried it before.
Oh, lo-fis are great. We used to, in school, they used to tell us we had them on paper. And I remember we did an app on paper, and we just kind of showed it to people. And we're like, where do you think you're going? Like, next, and we'd pull it, and then next, and we'd pull the card.
Whoa.
And then eventually you'd be like, okay, they'd ask us questions like, well, do I even need to pay with this app? And it's, if it was like a payment app, I'd be like, I guess you don't. Maybe it's not an app. Maybe the solution's not an app.
Yeah.
And before we invested weeks creating the UI, we kind of had our idea, the validation over this idea not working. So yeah.
But I mean, it takes a lot of time just to replicate the process or simulate the process and move the cards on piece of papers.
Yeah, totally. It's totally different use case.
Yep.
I think now that we have software tools like XD, and you can just kind of send a very hi-fi version of the app that you've maybe made very, very quickly because you've used plugins or maybe a UI kit, and you're just kind of like, this idea generally, will this work? The fact that you can send it through to your mobile phone immediately and put it in front of someone and have them interact with it, I think it takes prototyping up to a different level, because it's almost like this hi-fi prototyping is still lo-fi because it happens so fast.
Yeah. And you're being so specific in terms of the tasks that you're trying to test.
Yeah. So it really just depends on what your questions you're trying to answer.
Yep.
Right? Does this need to be is this problem we're solving need to be this type of app? Maybe it's a whole different system in use. Marissa said she did the paper prototypes in a low-level HCI course. Yeah.
Wow.
It's they're a thing.
HCI course,
Paper prototypes are a fun way to learn about prototyping.
So how would you, because I've never tried it before, so how would you incorporate that if you're working on 3 weeks project or 2 weeks project?
You do it. It's something you do like right at the beginning.
Oh.
Like right at the beginning. Maybe you've done like a little bit of research, and you're, like I said, maybe you're creating an app for a restaurant, some type of like check-in situation, and you're trying to decide whether you need this many screens or you need this many. Who would be your participant? And so you kind of go into those places with your mock app. Yeah. And you just kind of like, do you think, if you were to check in, would you hit these buttons or whatnot? It's fun. I don't think I've ever used them in like a professional setting.
Yeah.
But it was a great way to get my mind working around the idea of what somebody needs to move an idea forward, to understand your idea.
Validation.
It was a practice in validation, and it was fun. You just moved the card.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're at 5 minutes till the daily creative challenge is up and live, and we're talking about them. So everybody submit your work. Doesn't matter if it's done. Could be kind of rough. We just want to see them.
Now do you want to just work a little faster in
We have some time afterwards. We'll check in with the creative challenge, and then we can wrap up with you. But we still have some time in general. And Santaj says the same thing I said, which is depends on the case-by-case basis in the end what type of prototypes to do. Yep, I'd say that. Yeah, because people get the gist. If you say it's a prototype, people understand. Yeah, I like your tooltip.
Oh, thanks. All right, how big is that? Okay, smaller.
Nice. So I like the idea around, like, do you want to save this group for future splits and saving your groups that you eat with?
Yeah.
That's great. Oh, yeah. Okay, if anyone's brand new into the stream right now, which maybe there is, maybe some people kind of came in a little late, and that's totally fine. We are here with Osama Ghazal, and we are going through an app that helps you split your bill, a bill splitting app, and we've included tip.
Yep. And tax.
A tip and a tax. You know, today we're going through the wireframes, and tomorrow we'll be really applying a really awesome design system that was created by Osama, and so we're excited to see that tomorrow. In the meantime, we have some creative challenges that are that unlock today and tomorrow, so I hope everyone's going to be in on that.
Yep, that's fun. It really trains you guys, so you gotta try it.
See?
I
Number
personally
one
try.
advocate.
All right, so now I'm almost done with like how to go through entering bill information to selecting certain group of friends and split with them. And now I need to design, if you already have existing groups that you want to select from and split right away.
Got it.
Yeah. So,
Nice. And it looks like the creative challenge today is all about low fidelity wireframes.
Oh.
So they really shouldn't be that polished, and so I'm excited to see this. It's a good tool. It's a good practice. How fast do you make your students bust out a low fidelity wireframe?
just one version of it, and all the feedback that we provide on it, they can apply on Midvice.
But how fast do you? So between like getting your project and then like giving you guys wireframes.
No, like right after they finish their research on deployment channels and collecting data, affinity diagrams and all that done, they start lo-fiing.
Got it.
Yeah.
Right away. Awesome. Yeah. So yeah, we'll be able to get to see some really cool design styles getting applied tomorrow.
Oh, I cannot wait.
If you guys are here for like the colors and typography, that's tomorrow. So
yeah.
Tune in. Yep, and I'm excited for this challenge. I can already see some of you guys submitting in Discord. Good job. Stefan says, mine's hella ugly.
It's a lo-fi, guys. It's supposed
lo-fi.
to be ugly.
It's supposed to be. It's totally supposed to be. And another one of the asks for today's creative challenge is to create a mood board that informs your color type and asset choices. So we'll see. We'll see what people have gotten to. Tim says, let's see if everyone used Comic Sans.
Oh, wow.
I hope so.
Oh, man.
I really do. It should be a rule. When making wireframes, must use Comic Sans.
Comic Sans, so.
You know, it's a joke. We make fun of it, but it was a typeface widely used for a very long time.
For a very long time.
For a very long time.
Yeah.
Stone says, children prefer Comic Sans. True stat.
What can you say again?
What can you say? Exactly. Like, it's a font for a reason.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, you guys. We are at the design feedback. Countdown has stopped. Let's check out your designs.
Awesome.
I'm excited. Creative challenge today. One more time. It's all about user flows, low fidelity wireframes. This one's a fun one. Let's check them out. I'm gonna let you guys keep uploading, but I've pulled over somebody's already. wish it could tell us. Okay, let's go to 1. Here we go. Alrighty.
Look at that sectioning. So.
Some sort of, what's great about this is it's lo-fi, so we can kind of get, you know, what are the main points happening on your lo-fi wireframe, you know? So we know it's a video sharing.
Sectioning.
Sectioning, yeah. Based on sectioning platform of some sort, which is great. We can already get that from like your basic wireframe of sorts. Hello, Comic Sense.
Hello there.
Hello there, welcome. Alrighty. All right, so it's like a little bit of a...
Oh, wow.
Right, actually we knew this. We knew this was a part of the prompt. It was all about a streaming service, right? And a streaming chat, kind of like the one we have right now. It's almost like redesigning the Adobe Live experience. I love this. I love them popping up on the side.
I really love them.
I love that. That's great. Stefan, that's great.
Yep.
Hello, they're welcome. Love this show.
And it also gives you like a chance once they pop this way. It gives you a really good chance when you start thinking about scaling. Like imagine if you have 10 replies or 10 comments or whatever that is. So it's really a nice way to navigate through all of them.
Yeah.
Good job. Good job, Stephen.
Oh, no, that's the thing. Sorry. Cool.
Yep.
That's great. All right. Work in progress. Ooh, it's coming in as a PDF. I love that. Oh, that's the whole thing. It's fine. It's fine. We'll figure that out in a second. All right. Let's take a look at this again. Cool. Stone says it's like listening to your favorite album while creating. The two of you. Yes. Kind of.
Isn't it? Okay.
It's meta. I like it.
Definitely my playlist.
Stefan, here we go. Stefan, we got the designer on the chat with us of this current app wireframe flow we're looking at. So let's talk about it. Can decide whether to have the keyboard pop up horizontally or just vertical mode where there's room. What are your thoughts? So I'm talking about this.
So let me read it again. So we couldn't decide whether to have the keyboard pop up horizontally or just a vertical mode. Yeah, I would go with the latter. Just a horizontal. Vertical mode, sorry.
Vertical mode?
Yeah, vertical mode.
Like this. This is kind of...
Yeah.
Versus popping it up.
Because it's also closer to your hands, like when you type faster.
Yeah, I don't know a lot of users that can do that well, can have access to that keyboard well, like while a video is streaming as well. That would be a very hard interaction. So I think you did a good job, going with that. Cool. Let's see if we have more coming up. Ooh, open original. Very cool.
Nice.
Okay, that wireframe, awesome. Okay.
I like it.
Well, what I really like is using the color red.
Mm-hmm.
So we see what you're highlighting, which is a great way to kind of use like a pop of color.
Yeah.
Especially on a wireframe where there's not really words except for maybe like a couple here.
Yeah, the way like unifying the accent color across the entire screen is pretty.
The one thing I would have to say though is making sure that accent color is describing one specific thing. I don't know whether or not all of these reds are related in this way. Are these all new features maybe? Because that's, or is this...
Are these just like all of them are hidden targets or all of them are buttons? Like that's definitely one of the things that you need to consider. And also using a different color to the loading bar, like the timeline, that would also be helpful. But overall, I'm really liking the style here.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, this is exactly what a wireframe
should be like.
It needs to be.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be any more frill than here's some channels, some categories, features, and and our only critique, if any, is the use of your indicating color of red.
Yeah, and also one more thing is just the circle in its like inside of the placeholder. Is it supposed to be a video? I'm assuming it's a video because it's pretty obvious what you're trying to wireframe, but also it helps if you have the play icon inside of it to indicate more that this is a video, because it can be any media file, like a picture or something.
Is it just an image with a loading bar?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or maybe it's music,
or an
album
or music,
cover.
Or maybe a slideshow with, there are a lot of things that you can assume.
A presentation or something.
So.
Yeah, so just kind of indicating, you can indicate these files and and then playing around with your accent color
Yep.
and what it's supposed to kind of be describing.
Yep.
Because I'm thinking, is it the logo that's everywhere? Is it the,
Yeah.
it's a little, that's the one confusing part of the wireframe.
Mm-hmm.
Cool, but that one's great. I love that
Yeah,
one.
really loving it.
Loving it. Let's see if anybody has any new ones. Not seeing any new ones. So if we're all tapped out, that's okay. That's okay. Page 2 is mobile. Oh, I want to see page 2 mobile. Cornelian. Let's see. I didn't even know there was a page 2 to that one. Page 2. There's no page 2. Okay.
So yeah.
Next time maybe we'll look it over tomorrow after the
absolutely,
creative
yeah.
challenge tomorrow. But thanks so much. We can't wait to see the ones that come out tomorrow. And good job wireframing, y'all.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's basically what we said before. Like that's what wireframe is about, or low fidelity. What is low fidelity is about. So.
Yep. And that's all we're doing today.
Yeah.
Just some really basic wireframing.
Yeah, I probably was going like too crazy with the details here, but it's just because it's a short amount of time and I have to accomplish a lot before tomorrow. So, yeah. So back to where we stopped. We stopped here, designing the group section of the app. So.
Yeah, so this is groups.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
That's how we find our groups. Oh.
Whoa.
What's going
Glitch.
on? Yeah, that's a glitch.
Oh, we don't want to install.
Okay. I have no idea what that is, but
Dude,
let's pretend it never
Let's
happened.
try this.
Yeah. So for groups, and we have a little filter icon in here. That can be completely changed tomorrow. It depends on the mode. Like this.
The redesign of the hamburger menu.
Yeah, no. Filters, more filters.
Filters,
yeah.
got it. Okay. There you go. Well,
And I wouldn't be surprised if I changed it tomorrow, honestly, but
yeah, because
Yeah.
I thought it was a hamburger.
Yeah.
So there's your first user test.
yeah. I just leave it here for now as a placeholder, then can get back to it tomorrow.
Nice. So you're a teacher. Was there something around like, what made you want to be an instructor of sorts for UX?
Oh, that's a good question.
I know a lot of people that wouldn't want to. So,
Honestly, I never expected myself to become a teacher, especially in design, because I have some good experience when it comes to work, like creative work, but I didn't go to school to learn design, so that was a little bit tricky for me because I didn't know how would people what would people expect from me as a teacher as opposed to just being a designer. So I was a little bit hesitant in the beginning, but I said, you know what, like I'm just gonna do it and see what happens.
Yeah.
And honestly, it was great. Yeah.
wow. So it was like the idea of not having like the formal education.
That's definitely,
scared you,
yes.
but-
That's definitely one of the
There,
reasons. Yeah.
it's something we talk a lot about in the stream, or I've learned from all the designers, is nobody has like a set way of entering the field, right?
Yeah.
Not everybody has a
Oh my goodness.
formal education of design. I feel like very little designers.
Yeah,
actually
especially
do.
like in my classroom, I've been teaching for like almost 3 cohorts, and we have people coming from crazy backgrounds like biology, psychology, like yeah. So.
Wow. Yeah, it's really amazing.
Yep.
Stone says it's such a kind word, glitch. Trigger safe, no need for a bug.
Let's call this group my peeps. Something like that. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah, I like to say glitch because it reminds me of like the Matrix. That's why I say glitch whenever
Say
some.
gl-
I say
oh, yeah.
Instead of bug or
Yeah.
I can't think of any other word I say. Stone says burp. A burp. Peeps.
I'm a little bit on the fence. Like, I don't know what should I decide in here. Okay, let's just go with the flow, see what happened.
Oh, nice. We're designing on the fly, trying to decide what goes in these in the little group section of this app. Tim says, we don't make mistakes, we just have happy little accidents.
That's a good way to articulate it, Tim.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's true. It's yeah, how many times have you like, has your cursor moved slightly and you're like, oh, that looks really good.
All the time.
All the time.
All the time, yeah. 5, no.
Tim says, it's not a bug, it's a feature.
Sure.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. I'll go with that. So, let's see if we have any late submissions to our creative challenge. I just think it's a great creative challenge to do right now. You know, you're wireframing. Everyone in the chat's wireframing. We're
Yep.
just wireframing all the livelong day.
So what was the biggest project that you ever worked on before? Like, how many screens in terms of the number of screens?
How many screens?
Yeah.
I can't even imagine. Probably hundreds
Whoa.
of screens, but like it was like a larger project I was a part of.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I created every single screen.
Yeah, but you were involved in the process, so yeah.
Yes, hundreds. It's very hard with file sharing when it gets when it gets like that. But I only had a couple of features that I had to take care of, so yeah. Organization when it gets big is important.
Yeah.
How about you? What's the biggest amount of screens that you've built?
Yeah, ever since I started designing, I was working purely on mobile applications. So the biggest, I would say, like 50 something.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's good.
Yeah, that was actually a huge one. It's called Logoscopic. And
Yeah.
Logoscopic and Vanillapin, like sister app, I would say. They were like huge because they rely mostly on creative outlets. So it lets people download logo presets and stuff like that. So yeah, it took a lot of, you were designing basically a design tool.
A design tool.
Yeah,
Wow.
so-
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of people here at Adobe understand that.
Oh yeah,
About
I can
life.
tell for sure.
Designing the design tool. Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I don't know if any designers of XD are watching right now, but correct me if I'm wrong. You design XD with XD. I'm pretty sure that's the thing.
That's a thing for
Yeah,
sure.
I'm pretty sure they're designing
Like a dream comes
XD
true.
with XD,
Yeah.
which is the most confusing thing. But mad props. Tim says problem exists between chair and keyboard.
Problem exists between chair and keyboard.
Chair and keyboard. Oh, us?
Oh, okay.
Tim says, yes, they do. Also Photoshop. Whoa. Photoshop? Designs with Photoshop? What? That's wild.
That's whimsical.
Or does Photoshop design with XD? That's the question.
Yeah.
Yeah, Stefan, I saw there was a new wireframe for someone in Discord. Why don't we take a look at it, if we can? If we can come over to my screen. So we can just kind of look at one more daily creative. It's all good. You're doing great. There we go. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh man, yeah,
So
I'm so familiar with that.
Some real boxes. Awesome. Here we go. The most basic mock-up we need to have, you know? It's great.
I'll just say that the logo placeholder is like quite breaking the grid.
Right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
Yeah.
say more.
But overall, like, damn, that's extensive. So.
Yeah, it's where everything's gonna go.
Yep.
Yeah, I think the one thing missing maybe would be a little bit of a guide for us to kind of. This is great when you it's kind of yourself,
Yeah.
and you're like, okay, I need to lay out all of my things. I need to put them all in a wireframe, and only you see them. But it'd be, say you're sharing this with someone or another designer like
Yeah.
us, and you want to kind of
Visual hierarchy,
kind
basically.
of give us a hierarchy, or
Yes.
kind of what the other designer did with the red.
Yeah.
Give us a call out here or there, maybe the one thing that changes this design from something that is just boxes, right?
Yeah, it's definitely the combo between like visual and information hierarchy. So like definitely will help for other people, as you mentioned, to read after you.
Yeah, there you go. But we can totally look at this, it's
Content-wise, it seems like
Journey
very
levels.
extensive and a lot of thought process behind it, honestly. Right?
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely. I'm trying to kind of learn more and deep dive into these little tabs here, because I think this is where the design gets interesting. So a great way to kind of elaborate on this wireframe more would be like kind of give us a little more information around here, these little flags. I see German level A1, A2, B1, B2. There's something really interesting about this. And unless I really looked at it and dove kind of deep in and started reading, I wouldn't have known that. So what's the way you can give that to us quickly?
For this one,
As a wireframe, something
yeah.
really simple. What could be done?
I would have said like hover state, but it's not gonna work here because it's gonna be complicated for a simple wireframe for sure.
Yeah, not for wireframe.
Colors. I would say
Color.
colors. Yeah, for wireframe you can definitely use like certain colors to indicate what you're selecting or what you're hovering over. So colors for sure.
Yeah. And lorem ipsum, what's your thought?
I have a love-hate relationship with the lorem ipsum placeholder.
Tell me more.
But I mean, at least for like the headers, try to put some effort in it. I'm not talking about this design in specific. Like in general, if you're designing a wireframe, at least the headers should be more descriptive. The body text can be lorem ipsum if you're like running out of time or something. But headers, please no lorem ipsum. Something more than lorem ipsum.
Yeah. It's a great it's a great amount of lorem ipsum's great for long bodies of text that people just need to scan over.
Yeah.
But when it's something that's right at the beginning, kind of giving us an idea of what you're making, it's helpful to have real text. Even if it's not perfectly perfect copy. It doesn't have to be like exact funny, it doesn't have to be on brand with what you're making, but something like that'll get us to that point where we understand what's happening. And just like the call outs, so it's all about storytelling, right? And how can you do that as fast as you can?
Yep.
There's a great plugin actually for body text. It's called Wiki.
Wiki, yes.
Have you ever used it?
No, I never used it, but that's why I got really quiet because I was trying to remember the name.
That?
Thank
Wiki's
you.
awesome. It's it takes the Wikipedia text from whatever subject kind of you write in to the plugin.
And it makes way more sense than lorem
maybe I
ipsum for
can
sure.
pull it up really quick, just to show you while you kind of can wrap up. This is me playing around. Let's go text. Text. So, where is it? Wikify. Wikify is the name. So here we go. There's the right over here. And let's see. That's restaurant. That's burgers. Maybe we want to. It's an app about burgers. Let's Wikify. It's gonna pull up. Oh, look at that. Text around burgers.
Yeah.
So these. There you go. All the text you need.
Hypothetical text, but makes more sense than
Exactly.
lorem ipsum. Okay.
Hypothetical text. So, play around a little bit more. Overall, great wireframe. Just honestly great. If you were just needed it to build your site, it's going to work for you perfectly. You can just drag and drop. We had a little bit of a note around the grid, but hey, it's a wireframe. No worries. Awesome. Cool. Thanks for that last submission.
Thank you. That was an extensive one, though, I have to tell. So.
Yeah, it was. Right on. Really cool. Let's see. Oh, Tim actually clarified. No, Photoshop designs with XD.
Yeah. Thank you, Tim. That makes...
That clarifies things for sure. I mean, early days of UX, people were using Photoshop. Really.
Yeah.
Anything they can get their hands on. But that's trippy. That's cool.
When you designed Photoshop with
XD,
yeah, of
I love
course.
that.
So before XD and any UX specific software, what did you use for design?
Adobe products.
Yeah, no. I'm not saying like Adobe Illustrator, Photoshop, because
Yeah.
I use Photoshop for
Photoshop.
UX for a long time.
Yeah, no, I definitely did too. Illustrator, I guess, because I was used to do like web, any type of web design work. I was like overlapping, and I don't know, Photoshop, yeah. If I can remember back that far, it's kind of always been the thing to use
Yep.
for anything design related.
Now we're gonna have this group in here.
Nice.
Start new bill.
Nice. Yeah.
I
So
promise you guys it's gonna look much better tomorrow. So.
Photoshop and Illustrator. Tim used Photoshop and Illustrator. They introduced artboards and Photoshop because of UI design. That's right. I
That's
remember that.
absolutely right,
Yeah. Yeah. Classic. It's a classic tool.
Yep.
Use it for everything, not just photos.
Like arts, manipulations.
Yeah.
Editing.
And make sure to tune into this live stream right before us where they go through Adobe Photoshop.
Yep. Alright, so I'm gonna have this and.
Look at that. Was that a repeat grid, or did you just copy that?
No, I copy it. I
Old
forget
school.
about it,
No,
yeah.
I love it. No. Sometimes you just gotta do what you. The thing, and when you're making a wireframe, you're just doing it as fast as you can. Just getting it out. So we're coming towards the end, and I'd love to kind of like walk through everything we've done today with you. But if you're just joining, which maybe you are, it could be a very big possibility. And we have come a long way, Marissa. We're here with Osama Ghazal, and we are going through a bill splitting app. And tomorrow we're going to be applying a design system that he's created himself.
Yep.
But right now we're going to go through that wireframe.
This one.
Ooh.
Right, so as you mentioned, Alexa, so today we're trying to wireframe the app, the major functionalities here, and we decided that we're focusing on three things: intro and bill information, split with groups, and the final one, which is split evenly and unevenly. We're almost done with the wireframe, like 4 more screens to go. So I'll definitely make sure to get that ready for tomorrow, because I want to dedicate the entire session tomorrow for hi-fis, like applying these elements and colors, and add just a little bit of animations that hopefully would be fun for everyone here in the chat as well.
It's going to be awesome.
Yep.
I can't wait. Can we click through it really quickly, like just before we wrap? Kind of see. Yeah,
the
you are.
screens? Oh, yeah, sure. So this is the first one where you enter all the bill information. You can, or that will be even clearer tomorrow, like you enter the total of the bill, then tax and tip. Then you choose the friends that you want to split the bill with. And after you do so, you go to the split screen where you can control how much everyone will pay. And the options button will give you more choices if you want to edit the bill information, or even if you want to exit the entire process and restart. Then this is a tooltip to create a group from the people you selected. Then tomorrow we will finalize what we started in this section, which is choosing from existing groups you have. Instead of selecting people all from the start, you can choose an existing group and start splitting right away.
Very cool.
Yeah.
We'll probably do a little bit of prototyping as well.
Absolutely. And
some really cool features, specifically around the splitting, the actual percentage increasing.
Oh, that would be a fun one.
That's going to be really cool.
That would be a fun one, yeah.
Wow, I can't wait. Yeah. Well, thanks so much. Make sure to check out Sam on all of his socials, his Behance, his website's linked in the chat. Excited for tomorrow. Maybe we're gonna go split some lunch. But thanks for joining us here on Adobe Live, and we will see you bright and early tomorrow.
Thank you guys so much. See you.